Hello guys and welcome to SteveKnows. Today I bring some big stories, exciting stories around Bonelab, Quest full body tracking, a great headset to now compete against the Quest, some new Quest features, more fantastic games coming soon, and even more. This is packed, so please hit subscribe. It's just a small deed, but it means the world to me. So get comfortable, put your feet up, because we have so much to go over. That is enough chin wagging. Let's get started. So starting with the talk of the town, the Bonelab's trailer has been released, with it being over 4.5 minutes of gameplay and a 14-minute video posted by Node showing the title off as well. In these videos, we can understand more of what's expected from this title once it drops next week. This is going to feel like the longest week of the entire year for many. The one that everyone seems to be talking about, which is pretty interesting, is the body avatar quick change mechanic, putting on your arm to filter through different avatars that have different body types and attributes in order to tackle a certain area of the game. It also changes your playstyle as well, from a short, chubby meathead.
Now if I go to something that deviates way more wildly, here's this big, huge guy.
To a lanky giant.
Switch over to this
Whoa! And athletic builds. Brandon did also tweet out a while ago that the first soft body simulation that was going to come to this game. And in this video, we managed to see the as they are squeezed together like they are making a fresh glass of orange juice. You may have also seen that go-karting was going to be included in this experience, and one thing that's special about this is it's using a full physics simulation in order to achieve it, which is an amazing feat for the Mario engine, so well done for pushing that through. This is only a positive for us gamers on what's to come. If you wanted to know even more about this, I did do a dedicated video a while back talking about things that are coming for Bonelab, like the game modes, hidden things that were in the trailers, and I'll link that down below in the description. This is coming on the 29th of September, next Thursday. While all of this Bonelab hype was occurring, there was a sneaky article that I shared around Meta researchers achieving full body tracking with the Quest headset. And it was way more advanced than I was expecting, because we had recently seen the full body tracking done by other researchers, and they had achieved this using cameras that were attached to the controllers. The computer was using the data feed from the headset and the controllers to predict the user's movement and their pose. And after seeing some leaks and the Quest Pro, I think it's fair that many of us assumed that this full body feature would be enabled via this method because the new controllers have cameras on them. But this latest video showcases the Quest headset using its LED ring controllers and still achieving this type of tracking. But there seems to be a catch. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Due to the limitations of the inverse kinematics, which is the method currently used for the tracking, which has leg problems, elbow problems, which is often why you just see hands in your VR games, they're using a new method, which is using a neural network, and this is designed to produce a plausible full body pose for others to see, not yourself. So what others are seeing doesn't exactly match what you're doing. So the Quest Sim, which is what they're calling this, is only suitable for others to see your avatar's body. You would not see your own. The latency of the neural pipeline is 160 milliseconds, so this is not viable for a real-time body track solution for the user to look down and see themselves.
We are working on legs that look natural to somebody who's a bystander, because they don't know how your real legs are actually positioned, but probably you, when you look at your own legs, will continue to see nothing. That's our current strategy.
So this raises quite a few questions actually. Will this only be for people's eyes to see that I have a full body, or can it still be used in development, in games, for things like Blade and Sorcery, where I can kick my leg out and manage to kick someone in game? Because there still is a trigger there. There's still some data to say I've kicked my leg up, but that delay of 160 milliseconds, it's a bit much. So I don't see that being likely, at least yet. I can't wait to see more about this. Hopefully they show it off at Connect. I can see professional applications being a really good use case for this. And speaking of Connect, their schedule is now available, so we know what's going to be spoken about during this event. It is broken down by keynote, which there will be all the juicy stuff that we are looking forward to, such as the Quest Pro reveal. The developer sessions are also interesting to find out what capabilities are being provided to the developers to make their life easier in creating amazing games. And then, of course, the classic legendary send-off of Carmack's unscripted lecture. I don't know how he does it. Can't wait to see the Quest Pro reveal, and of course some more nuggets such as meta avatars as mentioned, which is probably going to be related to what we just saw, because people always complain about we've got no legs. Well, now there will be legs. He probably also wants to show the new advancements in the avatar visuals after we slated the Zuck for his Paris Horizon launch with that terrible image that they just clearly knocked up within about 5 minutes. So just over a couple of weeks to go now, and I will be streaming it, so please stick around. I also want to touch on the Pico 4 briefly. I did do a full video on it, I'll link that down below in the description, where I did attend a Pico event and try the Pico 4 device, so check that out down below if you want even more information on it, but I'm going to give you the lowdown here, put simply. It's really great to see an actual competitor for the Quest 2 device. The Pico 3, I kind of felt like it was a clone of its hardware, so there wasn't really much to get excited about there. But I think the battle has begun. It seems like it's going to be hardware versus a software ecosystem, Pico versus Quest 2, for at least the next year. Pico 4 has a higher resolution display of 2160 by 2160 per eye, whilst also using pancake lenses, not Fresnel, so they have a nicer sweet spot, less God rays, and a much clearer image. This also means the display can be closer to the user's face, reducing the form factor to just 36mm in depth, and putting a 5,300 mAh battery on the back of the device to act as a counterweight. This thing feels like a feather on the face. It's the most comfortable headset I've tried by far. It also has a dedicated 16 megapixel RGB camera on front for HD color pass-through if you like productivity and AR applications. They've also whacked in an extra 2 GB of RAM. It does, however, still use the XR2 chip that only supports Wi-Fi 6 and not 6E. And Pico does not have the Quest's ecosystem, its library, and it's also only using a 90Hz panel, not a 120Hz panel, which is sad, but it's not a deal breaker for me for that. The difference between 90 and 120Hz is much less noticeable than the lower frame rates. And they're only selling this for 429 euros for the base model and 500 for the 256GB model. So keep an eye out on reviews. If you're in a toss-up between the devices, reviews are going to start coming out in the next week or two when people start receiving their headsets. I'll be putting mine through its paces when it arrives, especially around PC VR and AR, because that's where I see this will likely stand out and be a great budget headset for those use cases. We will see. We have a new game now, Guardian Frontline. This is coming early 2023 to the Quest platform, and this game you may recognize from its early builds called Guardians, that I did cover on the channel such a long time ago. But fast travel games have got their mittens on it, and now we have Frontline. I barely recognize it anymore, it's come such a long way. This is a real-time first-person shooter strategy experience, combining the action of a first-person shooter with the mental game of a real-time strat. And it's actually quite a great combo. It can be played cooperatively, single player, or PvP. There is so much content in this game. It kind of reminds me of a mix between Halo and Starship Troopers as well. So you have a loadout where you carry sidearms, main weapons, and an extra like a bow or an energy sword, including a jet booster so you can fly through the air feeling like a right badass. So that is all used for your personal combat, but as you play you will mine for ore and use those as credits to buy tanks, turrets, and robot armies, of which you can control and more. This is honestly a great experience and I'm happy to see it get the love that it deserves. I can't wait for an official release. Congratulations! Fast travel games once again giving us even more content. It's like a fire was lit onto their backsides as they've been getting involved in quite a lot recently. And another experience is called Ghost Signal Stellaris. This is a game where you are in charge of leading the Aurora into the unknown depths of space, finding the source of a strange transmission that you just received. So this is an action roguelike title, which when you hear that, the game isn't kind of what you expect. It looks to be an experience where you will control your forces with a godlike view and be bouncing between action and strategy. The title seems like it has moments of action and then moments of slower paced strategic thinking whilst you look around this beautiful world around you. The universe unfolds before your eyes here as you're in space. You can also play this game sitting down, which is always a win. The Quest also just got its version 44 update that had been rolling out this week, with many expected exciting features actually pushed back into the next update, which could be related to the leaked D-Link accessory for wireless PCVR known as ARI or the Air Bridge, as this will require a software update for its compatibility. So version 44, which is rolling out this week, which you can enjoy, has advanced camera settings. This has been around for ages if you've been on the public testing channel, but the official release is of course finally here, so you can change the aspect ratio of your recording from 1:1, which is 1024 pixels by 1024, to the wider 16:9 at 1080p. But this also includes stabilization, so you can remove that jitter that you get in recordings because your head's all over the place. You're also able to change the frame rate and the bit rate for a higher quality capture and smoother gameplay. Although the stabilization, be aware, when you're moving around too erratically, say you're headbanging, you do get black lines on the side of the recording. There's also parental supervision options now, where they can disable developer mode. No! Stop! And you also have the ability to lock specific apps with a single passcode. So if you share a headset, you can stop other family members playing a game that you're enjoying or accessing something. So nothing that crazy. I do miss these updates being insane, epic. This one's a bit
Bog standard.
So that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, getting caught up on some of the big stories that have occurred this week. Hopefully there's enough there for you to get excited for. Please consider subscribing, and hopefully I will see you next time. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.